Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Plays, back today with another video. And in today's video, I want to go over my Shoto 2 Todoroki list, Shoto Todoroki 2 list that I've been working on for a little bit since I started the game. Kind of the first hero that I really have started to main, so to speak, and really just try to get a hold of. So I wanted to share my deck and kind of get your thoughts as a community, like where I could improve or what you all think about the deck as a whole, and just kind of give my experiences with it and get right into it. And hopefully maybe this will be a good starting point for somebody that's wanting to play the hero. So Shoto 2 really appealed to me. I'm not currently wanting to play like the crazy meta decks like Ojiro or Jiro or seven-handers or anything like that. I like the mid-range play style, and I like the six-hander play style for the most part. So I went through different characters and decided like which one I wanted. And I really like Shoto 2's ability to basically stun out the opponent and really punish them early. I like Shoto's flexibility. He has the ability to, if you go first, you build four. They build, let's say 3 or 4. Let's say they can build 4, and then you can come back on your turn 2 and basically deal 2 to 3 attacks and stun their whole board out, and be able to just basically deal like 10 to 20 unblockable damage. Being able to build 4, and then if you check well, playing like a giant ice wall into like a frozen slash into like a tongue whip, and being able to basically at a minimum deal 5 from ice wall, 4 from this, making this 9. It gets +2 off of frozen slash, so it goes up to 6. That's 15. Then +1 off tongue slip whip, that's 16. So minimum 16 damage right there. And if you basically stun 4 on giant ice wall the very first attack, then they really can't do anything because you just stunned every single one of their foundations. So I like its ability to basically punish opponents early that way. There's other ways to even gain more damage off those turns if you check well, especially early game. And then I like its ability to, in the late game, be able to outvalue your opponent. And right now, I think with this very fast format, Shoto 2 is kind of not being looked at because it's one of those like, why wouldn't you just play Ojiro or even just play Asui or something like that? But I think if the format slows down, I think Shoto 2 could be a really good contender for one of the top decks, and kind of go from there. So going over the deck, start with the attacks. I have 21 attacks in the main deck, or in the deck as a whole, out of 64 cards. Pretty good. Maybe I've been messing with 21 to 23. I was on 22, and I just recently went to 21. But if you do it by difficulty, we have 4 Ice Storm. I want to have a lot of flexibility with my attacks, so I have 4 Ice Storm and 4 Giant Ice Walls to give that breaker to be able to use them for defense as well. What I like about this lineup is all of these are, multiple different. If you look at block zones, like we have 3 highs, 2 lows, and a mid, and our mid is a breaker 2, which is really, really nice. But overall, Ice Storm is a super flexible card, comes in at 4/4, can't be blocked by attack cards, has powerful 3, which is really nice, and breaker 2, right? And it can get buffed with Shoto's ability and get stunned with his ability. And it's deadlock enhanced. This attack gets +2 speed. The speed of this attack cannot be reduced. So basically, in deadlock, off Shoto's ability, this is basically a 8 low for 6 at a minimum, and if off powerful 3, it could possibly be like 8 low for 9. So in the late game, this thing is insanely powerful. In the early game, it's really good. I usually in the early game actually find myself using this on defense more than offense. If I have a turn where I draw into like a tongue whip, a giant ice wall, and an ice storm, most of the time I'll hold the ice storm just to use it for breaker 2 on my defensive turn. So just really flexible card, and it's a mid block, which is really nice. Tongue whip. Enough said about this card. Most people know why this card's so good. It's so good in the Shoto 2 as well. Playing this off of a frozen slash. Give them frozen slash +2/+2, coming in for 5 for 6, or giving it a damage and speed buff off our foundations, and then coming in with tongue whip, right, for 6/6. It's basically a 6 low for 7, because you're going to add at minimum 1 card to the card pool and then give that 1 damage. So it's really good for that. It's a 2 low block, satisfies that, so just really good card. Frozen Slash is a card that if they can't turn off its enhance ability, then it becomes insanely powerful. Being able to give this 2/2, so it's a 5 high for 6, and then also give your next attack 2/2, like you're starting to get into mini Ojiro territory where you're like basically giving like 2/2, 2/2 into your strings, which is really, really nice. It is a 4 check as well. And it's deadlock enhanced. Your rival loses 1 health for each ranged attack in your card pool. So even being able to burn them for 2 or 3 is really, really nice. Some good utility. Then Frigid Heat Wave. I was at a 2 of this card, and I just went to a 3 of. The card's just too good. Being able to play this with Shoto, if you were to like push all your buttons on this card, which sometimes I'll even do if it's like the only attack I want to play on my turn, maybe I have 4 foundations and 2 attacks, or 5 foundations, 1 attack. I'll play the Frigid Heat Wave, comes in off Shoto for a 7 high for 6, and then with stun 2, and then if I can hit like just 1 card, 1 ranged attack, then all of a sudden it's a 7 high for 8. Basically going to guarantee that I hit 8 for the most part, and then build 2 or 3 foundations and go about your day. You just took a third of their health for the most part, most of the time, maybe a 4th tops, and can keep building. So it's really good for that. In late game, it just gets really stupid, and just overall really good card. One of the premier cards in the game. Giant Ice Wall, similar to Ice Storm. It's super flexible card. It's a 3 for 5. It's one of my favorite starters, if not my favorite starter of all my attacks. Being able to come in for stun 4 with this card, still attack on a 3 low for 5, and then go on into like a Frozen Slash, into like a Tongue Whip or something. Just really good. It has Breaker 1, which is really nice, and it satisfies that high block, so giving us a little more diversity in our blocks. And then finally, Tape Lash. My last attack I've been really kind of playing around with. I tried Tape Toss. I've tried Tape Lash. I've tried couple different attacks, mostly in the Order kit or in Sero's kit. Tape Lash is I found to be the best. What I like about Tape Lash as an opener is I can give it stun 2, and basically so it will stun 3, and then I basically will give it +2/+2, so it's coming at a 4 mid for 9 off stun 3, and then also I can give my next attack +2 damage. So coming into like a Tape Lash, 4 mid for 9, stun 3, and then you go into like, any of these cards really, but you go into like a Frozen Slash, for example, which could be a 3 high for 6. You give it a speed, all of a sudden your next attack's getting +2. Like, it can just string together some really good stuff. And I just really like the fact that it gives damage to my next attack, so I can push the button on Shoto with this and then not feel bad about it. I can give it the 2/2 on my first turn, but I'm still getting +2 damage on my next attack as well. Just really good card overall. And at a 4 mid for 9, stun 3, like, it puts your opponent in a bad situation. Do they take 9 and then also know that a minimum like a 6 damage attacks coming next? So like all of a sudden you're threatening 15 damage in a turn off 2 attacks. It can get really daunting for your opponent, especially if you stun their board out. This is amazing on like turn 2. You stun 3, it comes in for a 4 mid for 9, especially if you give it a speed with like a different type of card over here. Like you give it a speed with like Feeling Cute or something like that, or give it a speed with First Villain Encounter. Super nice for that. Just really overall good card. For the actions, just have 2 recovery time. I like the flexibility this card gives. I can block with it. It's on a 1 diff, or a 1 mod, which is really nice. With a Breaker 1, I can remove it if I've taken 5 or more damage, gain 4 health, which is really nice. And after this card leaves my hand due to my rival's effect, I draw 2 cards. I love this card. I think this card's super flexible. I think most any water deck should be running this card, from my opinion. It's just really, really good. And it checks all the boxes. Like, there's nothing about this card that is bad, in my opinion. Really nothing. I just would 100% run it. Then we go into the foundations. So our spams, we have Gotcha. Pretty simple here. It mainly, for me, after this card is committed during the enhanced step, this attack gets +1 or -1 speed. So if they try to stun me, being able to commit this and respond and give it a -1 speed, things of that nature. And it's a good for a 2 low block, and that's really kind of also like the main reason it's in there, is just to help my low blocks. Desperate Times is really good. There's a lot of card draw right now in the meta, so being able to help commit one of their foundations if they try to draw is really nice. Surviving the Final, I have a 2 of as well. So 3 Gotchas, 2 Desperate Times, 2 Surviving the Finals. I do like giving -1 speed on things. I hate the +3 high block, but it's really good just to kind of slow your opponent down. And then Basic Train. This card's insane. If you can get 2 or 3 of these out on the field, then all of a sudden your stuff gets really, really crazy as far as damage is concerned. And the reason I also like this is it's deadlock enhanced. After attack is played, it gets +1 speed, playable while committed. So basically, you can, if they're in deadlock, every single one of your attacks is going to get +1 speed, and one of them is going to get +1 damage. So if you have 2 or 3 of these on the field, all of a sudden your attacks are going like +1, +1, +1, +1, so on and so forth. So that's my zeros. A total of 11 zeros overall. Then for our ones, we have Observant Student. Really, this is just a low block. That's like its main purpose. It's a one mod low block, which is really nice. In a pinch, I can flip it to look at the top card of my deck to make sure I'm going to check right. If I'm trying to overextend maybe in the game, but I don't know if I'm going to check a 3 or a 5, this allows me to make that decision. And its deadlock enhance is really good. Commit, if a card is left your card pool this turn, add 1 range attack from your discard pile to your hand. So if I can kick it from the card pool, it's really good in Asubi, but not as crazy for the deadlock in this, but it is a 1 low block, so that's super nice. Ice Gliding, really good to slow your opponent down. You commit it, this attack gets +1 or -2 speed. If it's blocked, the next attack gets +1 or -1 speed. This is used defensively more than offensively. I want to be able to slow down their speeds, which is really nice. I've had this a couple times where it's just helped me be able to make a key block and also hurt their next block as well. It's really good on the first attack that your opponent plays. You give it -2 speed, you check the block correctly, and then you give the next one -1 speed. Just really good for that. Daunting Message, this goes in with our stun package. Like, this whole deck is about stunning properly. So being able to flip once we get below 16 health, basically, for the most part, or 14 health for the most part, we can start using our Daunting Message to help commit their foundations, especially mid to late game, like turn 4, turn 5, if we get there, turn 3, turn 4, and we're both in like the low teens. This allows us to like overextend on that big turn to try to close out the game. Feeling Cute, it's kind of a weird one. Getting +1 speed is nice, but we already have a good amount of speed, like pluses in this deck. Destroying a foundation isn't always the greatest, but it is really nice in a pinch when we absolutely need it. Wall Cling, very big staple in Water. Not too much to say about that. First Villain Encounter. This card's nuts. You commit, your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. Your next range attack this turn gets -1 difficulty. This card is perfect with Frozen Slash. Being able to get Frozen Slash 1/1, which satisfies its ability to then use its enhance to give our next attack 2/2 and give a -1 difficulty to our next attack. So I like playing Frozen Slash as my starter when I know I have a First Villain Encounter in play. If I play Frozen Slash and check it well, it comes in 4 half or 5, make our next one be 2/2 with -1 difficulty, and then you play something like a Frigid on a 5, right? That is coming in now for 7 high for 6 minimum on a 5, still on a 5 check. So really nice for that. Making a Stand's been really good as well. It's another low block in the deck. We can flip it to discard a rival's momentum if they really care about it. But really, it's to give our stun attacks +1 damage. When you start adding it up, like this card, First Villain Encounter, giving both cards damage, right? Basic training. You can really start to give an attack like just in the response and enhanced step. Like if you have basic training down, First Villain Encounter, and Making a Stand, you can basically give +1, +2, +3 damage, and potentially like +2, +3 speed. So it gets really, really good. And then you have Drowning Resentment. I had one turn where like I had Drowning Resentment activated by flipping it. I had Making a Stand activated, give me +3 damage. I had First Villain, give me +4 damage, and Basic Train, my response window prior to that, give me +5 damage on a turn where they were completely stunned out, and my attack came in for like 12. It was pretty nuts. So it's been really good. Drowning Resentment's really nice. It's also good in defensive to give something -2 damage, and it's playable while committed. It also has a response that says flip after a card leaves a discard pile due to your rival's non-character effect. They add the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. That's not as used as much, at least in my experience, but it's an add ability. Faith Shield, cards nuts, pretty obvious there. Patient Observation's actually been really nice for me. The Breaker 1's really nice. I use it defensively. Discarding momentum to give -4 speed. Most of the time, I'm bringing my momentum back, but there's some times where I don't want to bring all my momentum back. Like, the ideal Shoto turn, if they don't have momentum, is you block them out, in their enhanced step, you pick up one of your momentum if you have 2 in momentum, and then on your enhanced step, you pick up the second one. But sometimes I don't want to pick up my momentum, and when I don't need to pick it up, I will discard one to give an attack -4 speed, and it's a 6 check, which is super, super nice. It's a low block, breaker 1, kind of hits like all the wickets. Defrosting's really big. Just really good. Once per turn, discard the top card of your deck. Choose one of the following effects: +2 speed, -1 damage, or -1 speed, +2 damage. Just good on offense and defense. You don't have to commit to play it. You just discard top card of your deck, which is nothing. And then finally, Burn to Dry Eyes, which is really what makes this deck go nuts. If you can get this down turn 1 or 2, it just makes your deck super scary. Kind of the notables that I have in sideboard, I have 2 Creepies, 2 Irrefutable Force of Nature. It's just a really good card. 2 more Wall Clings to try to help with anything that's like big throw decks or like something that isn't fully blockable. 2 more Face Shields. Again, both of these kind of fill the same purpose. A Sticky Balls, and then finally Recovery Girl for certain degenerate play styles. If I play an Ojiro and I get the die roll and I win game 1, side into Recovery Girl and then force the game 2 to go longer than it should, and then win based off match wins. That sounds really crappy, but that's my thought process with that. That's how tired of Ojiro 2 I am. But yeah, this is the deck. Overall, it's done pretty good. Right now we're at 22 high blocks, 21 mid, 21 low, so really even across the board. And our block mods are really good. High is a little high, no pun intended, but our mid and low being at a 2.1 average is super nice. The list is very flexible, blocks really well. There's definitely some different things you could do with it, but overall, I'm super happy with it. I played it at locals, went 2-1 with it. Played it in the monthly or weekly Mondays in the Discord. Ended up going 1. I went 1-2 with it, I think, and then I've also gone 2-0-1 with it. So I've had a winning record 2 out of the 3 like little local events I've done with it. I hope to take it to some cool events later as time goes on. But yeah, super happy with it. I'm totally okay with it. But let me know what you would do different. I'm always interested to see the community's feedback on this type of stuff. Really, as me getting newer into the game, like I know I probably don't have all the right perfect things here, but I'm super happy with it, and it's been doing pretty solid for me so far. So yeah, hopefully you like this. If you do, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to My Hero Creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Plays. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good one.